Welcome everyone to a video, and I've forgotten my lines. Now usually I kind of have a good idea about what I want to tell you all, but this video we're just going to sit back and watch this game, and I'm just going to talk to you about what's happening, right? So we're going down bot lane, Twitch and Nami. They have reasonably good presence, and we're against Thresh and Vayne. So I want to talk a little bit about how you kind of handle those kind of supports, what you should do in your laning style, and as the game unfolds we'll talk about roaming and getting into the mid game as well. Okay? So starting the lane out, Vayne is going to scale well. So in the laning phase I want to try and harass him a little bit. Now I start E this game as I think, oh, okay, I have the range advantage. And you'll see shortly, I think it was this game, we had like a big fight, and I think it would have been better to have W, but it's questionable. We'll see. I think it was this game anyway. But mostly as you see, using the bush, when Vayne wants the last hit, I'm going to go in and try and auto attack him, right? Now he can either hit me or hit the minion, but either way I'm going to hit him. And if you do this 4 or 5 times, that's a lot of damage. So it's always worth to just get 1 or 2 auto attacks off if you can, even if 1, and then back off, right? Now here Thresh comes in. Oh, this is the clip. Now he hooks Twitch. Twitch then full damage with me, and I'm auto attacking as much as I can onto their AD. Then works out how it works out. Obviously then at this point I'm thinking, okay, I want to back off. Don't want to play with Thresh. Don't want to play with anyone. Just get the XP. And if any chance comes up the last hit, great, I'll take that too. But then here, Jax, Thresh come in. Ugly. The flash. And then the double flash. Now I remember this clip, and yeah, that feeling, right? I remember typing that feeling. Because I got totally outplayed at that point. But it all gets better. It all gets better. I just want to take a little pause there and go back at the clip on that fight. So as Thresh began his initial approach to get in, and as he reached parallel to our minions, Twitch then thought, okay, I'm gonna dodge this, but still got hooked, right? So then you see Vayne switching across and doesn't quite get the Quicksilver procs, but he gets it just before the exhaust goes down. So if my exhaust was slightly faster, Twitch may have lived here. However, because he dies, an important point is that I kept throwing the auto attacks down whilst Twitch was doing it. Always remember to auto hit as well. We're able to get a kill on Vayne as well. But I think the big point here is the questioning of the starting the E, because perhaps if I started W, I would have had the heal as well. Or was it the exhaust? Anyway, moving on. So as I run back to base, I'll kind of divert a little bit and talk about my runes and masteries for this game. Obviously masteries I like to run with wind speakers with Nami most of the time. That's the 10% healing increase, and shields as well if that counts, but not for Nami. And then of course the utility and the gold and things comes in very handy as well, with a little bit of defensive stats, because you're going to need those if you get hooked or anything like that, because Nami's very squishy, right? And all of the time if you get caught, you're going to have to burn a summoner spell. Coming into lane, communication with a double ward, yum. So throwing out all of my presence onto Vayne early game. That's my strategy, I think. If I can play aggressive when he wants the last hit, using the W as well, and following it with auto attacks on the E. And this is another tip as well, but I'll leave that in the comment below. I read something on Reddit, okay? Put it in the comments below. I'll put it in the comments below. And as you kind of go into a lane that doesn't have sustain, i.e. Thresh, their objective is to hook you and kill you, right? Ideally, if Vayne can follow up with the condemn as well, that's great. So you avoid this by standing max XP range, like the farthest away range. You can turn it on in the settings somewhere to see if you get the XP or not. And you can also then stand behind minions and avoid getting hooked. Hacked? What the heck's that? Great, burning Vayne's summoners there with a little bit of harass. Obviously, the passive is very powerful early to get kind of a little bit of a gap closing potential. But ultimately, I think it's really good once you've got a lot of CDR and you're able to keep it up all of the time as well. So again, I hope you kind of starting to understand that the laning phase is rather about throwing out those heals every now and then, aggressively or defensively, so you can heal yourself if an enemy's in range, and then it'll bounce off you, the enemy, and your ally. So you heal up to 2 of you at once. Or you can use it offensively and damage 2 enemies by casting it on the enemy first, letting it bounce off one of your allies or yourself, and then bouncing to another enemy in range. Hope that kind of makes sense. Don't want to patronize you guys either. So if your lane like doesn't need to be pushed, keep looking at the minimap when you're in the game as well. You'd be thinking, continue that kind of ethic of trying to harass, avoid getting hooked. You see there I'm weaving in and out of the minions, and Thresh thinks he's got an opportunity, but actually I've just kind of, I know that I'm pathing. So weave in and out of those minions, guys. Be conscious of, like, also I'll kind of explain another thing is, if you're standing where I'm standing now, right? Notice how I'm kind of weaving in and out of the side of the back leg of the minion. And what this does is kind of like gives Thresh a split second to hook me, but at the same time, if I get a chance to go back, right, land in the, ooh, flash, done. Still going in, the heal comes down. See there, trying to just keep Vayne up. Ivan support. Not much to talk about in this fight. It's generally like, if we were able to get another bubble down now, perhaps we could get a kill, but once the summoner gets burned, it's generally, okay, well, we nearly had a kill, guys. Here, oh, we get another re-engage. See that the E goes down on Ivan. Perhaps not the best choice. The Q does not hit. And Twitch lives. Partly because of Ivan and partly because of myself. That's not too bad. Now also I exhausted, so what I want to do is stop there and go back and just check that fight again, because I think we missed a couple of things. So that fight opened by Thresh running into melee range of Twitch, and also him being in a bad position for the condemn. So obviously, as the condemn missed and Ivan came in, I managed to land the bubble on Thresh, where the follow-up was flashed, right? So at this point, we should have probably all backed off. Now Twitch, going back in, getting hooked again, immediately gets my heal, and I go in and try and exhaust Vayne, because I see 3 shots, that's going to hurt this Twitch a lot more. Ivan comes in with some more support, and we decide, okay, now's the time to back out. So the plan to back out was all underway, and then unfortunately Thresh had ideas of stopping it. Well, okay. Healing myself and hitting him. Vayne focuses me. That's the condemn. Probably put my E on Twitch would have been a better idea. Now I managed to land the Q on Vayne, which stops any follow-up damage. That keeps Twitch alive for a lot longer. The heal comes out, the Ivan shield comes out, and that keeps him safe. The Thresh walks away. Frustrating, very close, and lots of little micro mistakes from either side there, I think. Anyway, moving on. And I think this just gets better and better, because whilst he's recalling, I think, yeah, he gets hooked, right? Now watch this. Dead, so I use E on myself, trying to slow. Ivan finishes, condemn down. I get the kill with an auto. Now Thresh, he ain't getting away either. Flash, W, auto attack. Managed to get the kill. Cool, double kill, right? But frustrating that Twitch had to die as well. So if we're 2 kills ahead, best thing to do now is push the wave. And I kind of didn't finish explaining about what I wanted in regards to like positioning with Thresh and trying to avoid his hook, but I'll get into that once we get back to the lane. So runes, I like to take, what is it, armor marks, although AD can be good if you like to do a lot of auto attacking, but generally armor marks. Okay. Seals, you can take armor or health or a mixture of those two. Some people like to run ×3 of the mana per 5, which is perfectly fine too. And then in glyphs you can run some ability power. I like to actually choose cooldown reduction ×9 and run a cooldown reduction glyph as well. So when I start the game I already get 10% combined with like masteries, and if you start coin that's like 25% level 1, which is really good on like champions like Janna or Nami if you start W and stuff like that. Yeah, speechless about what just happened. Running back to lane and watching that. Anyway, yeah, for your remaining 2 glyphs, you can take not glyphs, quints, right? You can take like ability power with that, or some health and armor if you feel like you're always in melee range. And like I have 10 rune pages, right? So I can always have like a rune page suitable for my enemies. So that's why I have such a wide choice to talk about. But if it's just a generic page, like I'd recommend armor, some more armor, and then some ability power and some more ability power, something like that. Just keep it going. And then obviously, kind of early game as you've seen, like try and harass and push out a lot of that damage. Excuse me. And also gonna have a little drink, right? Drink of choice tonight is lemonade, by the way. Oh, and the little sneaky ward there. Do you guys see how to do that? I also put a video out about that if you want to see it. Yeah, so try and keep that lane kind of going. Harass, poke if you can when Vayne goes to last hit. Don't want to let him scale. You want to stand behind minions, avoid thresh hooking you. I get hooked. And then I ult. And I probably die here, right? I deserve to die. Yeah, I deserve. That's brilliant. When I talk about not getting hooked, then I get hooked. But as you see there, wasn't behind any minions. Quite naively up at front. Something to reflect on. Something that I've been talking about a lot, right? Anyway, this game gets better. That's the last death. I mean it. I think. I always say that when I'm queuing anyway. Deep breath. Sorry. See? I even talked to my teammates about that stuff. The mobility boots is crippling us as well. Notice that. How I'm telling the team as well. And then he roams mid lane. Great. Yeah, so trying to keep the harass up, going through your early laning phase stages. Once you get your sight stone, you can then try and ward your objectives, and if you get any ganks, opportunities, or kills, you can push on other objectives and things like that. Try and like keep track of the lane, watch the minimap. I'm sure I could do these things better on footage, but these are just tips. Like if you guys want to be the best, you can hyper organize your mind and call everything out and use smart pings all the time, right? I'm more laid back these days. No, seriously, I'm not. So yeah, trying to clear. You see I'm putting kind of lots of stress on the vision around the objectives. I want to get that with my team. And then using any other time to push out if it's safe. So kind of at a blank point, really. So what else would I talk about? Streaming. I haven't done any streaming. Kind of a bit of a problem, guys. I only play like 1 or 2 games of League. And then I want to break. So I queue a game and then I'm like, I'm going to take a 20-minute break. And then I'll like play another game. And I feel like when you stream, you don't really have the freedom to walk away for that long. So it's much easier just to make a video like this. I apologize. But I've never actually made a video like this either. You see there, Jax went into our jungle. Capitalized on the opportunity, guys. Pinged it out. Went in. Took him down. Did the job, right? This is good. It's not warded. We can all group in here. Just try and see if Thresh runs up. No. So once you take the objective, generally most people want to recall, right? But when do you recall? That's a really good question. Well, not now, because there's a lot of minions in the lane. You can benefit from the XP, some of the passive gold. And also, like, if you look at the map, mid lane's dying. They're mid lane. And the enemy jungler is not top lane. So you think, okay, well, he's probably going to be bot. So if you put out a little bit more pressure, drive his momentum to come bot lane with you, it's kind of like wasting his time, because you know you want to go off and recall anyway. Once I run out of my wards, once my AD is pushed, and we feel like the lane's kind of going to reset, then we recall. Really confusing to know when to recall. See there, like I'm even doubting it myself. Ooh, Thresh, you're going to clear my ward. Yeah, so like I try and recall when I feel like we can keep the lane in the middle and we won't lose minions to turret, or definitely don't recall if you're going to take substantial damage to your turret, unless of course you're going to die, in which case you should always recall, because you shouldn't die. Because you had the chance to recall and you didn't, right? Watch that happen to me now. That's like kind of like Sod's Law. Throwing a bit of harass out, avoiding the Thresh hook, of course. You see his Quicksilver bolts, his W, is starting to really kind of hurt, but a couple of my heals makes up for that. Although I don't have the mana regeneration right now to like compensate for taking so many trades like that. So you got to be really cautious with the trades. And it kind of comes in like the higher and the more time that goes through the game, Vayne is going to get stronger. So you've got to throw out that harass early, hard, and then back off as you go towards late. I need to, ooh, nice hook, or dodge, or both. This is good, very good. See, the bubble didn't land, not quite quick enough. Giving Vayne the E. Now I queued Jax there in kind of prediction, but it's quite messy, and Ivan's redemption came down and yeah, okay. I want to re-look at that fight one more time. We definitely. So Twitch engages like after their attempt to engage themselves with his ult, right? As soon as I ult, Vayne flashes it. But the ultimate being used there is like, well, I knew that he had flash up, and as soon as Jax comes in, like not having vision on him, I Q him. But I think it's already too late. It would have been better to have saved my ultimate and then have had it just in case the jungler came in. Because even if we did land the ultimate, it would have been a lot of damage for us to like kill Vayne anyway, and a lot of range to like cover just to catch him. So I think the better thing to have done there would have definitely to have saved my ultimate. So one of my favourite things with Nami as you kind of progress into mid-game is how much fun you can have with your item build. As soon as you fix your mana issues, you've generally got items like Redemption or Ardent Senza, which are really like beneficial and helpful for your team. I don't feel like Ardent Senza is very noticeable in terms of how much it helps, but it is really, really good, okay? Why haven't I recalled yet? It's a big question on my mind. I bet I do that now. Really? Yay! So yeah, when you get mid-game and you run out of wards, you run out of mana, try and get that redemption. Once you finish your sidestone, obviously get it after that. And then go for fairy charms and vision. So like the 10% cooldown reduction, etc. It's really helpful. Get the cooldown reduction cap, okay? Be wary of your objective respawn timers. And as soon as you think it's a good time to group up, i.e. your team's pushed down at the turrets, or it looks like you've all got your ults and you want to come together, which I think might happen shortly, then do so. Otherwise, keep heading bot lane as well. You see now I'm calling my team to group up because we all have ults. That's funny. I guess I kind of really see an opportunity here. Yasu, it's all up to me. Would I ever ult? I don't think I would ever ult, anything like that. Those wait. So I'm going to ward the side lanes just in case they think, you know what, we've got to respond to this. We've got to go and keep my eye on Twitch as well. I know that he's probably able to 1v1 the Vayne, but not if he gets condemned. That's not going to work. And if Vayne's sensible, he'll wait for a condemnable opportunity. Alright. No, not good. He's going to clear. You see, I tried to throw my Q out to stop him. Ooh, trying in vain. Got to be really careful when all of these like little side bushes are being warded. Really recommend that if they are, you tell your team or just ping it or something, because if people don't see it, they have enemies like Blitzcrank or Thresh, they can kind of make opportunities off that, you know. By the way, Boots Lucidity is not a choice when I run the 10% in the runes, unless I think the game's going to be short and sweet, right? Which I think this game probably will be. Or at least I would have thought so at the time. And I would like it to be as well, because we are against Vayne. But, yeah, as I say, get that Fairy Charm, get the boots. If you don't go the Lucidity ones, go Mobility. Or if you need Defiance of like Cloud Control or Slow, get that instead, like Mercury Treads or Swiftness Boots. And then, as I said, for mid-game, objectives and be with your team. So yeah, another cool fact is that I've also started to learn to drive, guys. I've had about 7 hours of lessons now. I've been doing it for about 5 weeks, a couple of hours a week. And yeah, I got into gear 4. That's about it. And I've done some turns. I'm not ready to sit my test, don't worry. And I'm no Lewis Hamilton or anything like that. But I am sensible, and that is what counts. Safety first. Drive to arrive. Good fight, good night. That is it. Nice to get a dragon like that. Comes in handy when you have a team that comes in for objectives. Look what I'm typing. I didn't even. Yeah. By the way, like I swear to God, a lot of the stuff that I've said has happened in game. That wasn't planned. I promise. Okay. That's if you're even still listening. I'm gonna have a drink. What if you're drinking? Leave a comment on what you're having, please. Yum. So yeah, that's been pretty cool, and I also kind of have a new opportunity up and coming in my area of work, which most of you know is within treating cancer with radiotherapy. So I'll give more news about that when I can, but it's pretty cool. So this should be a good year, right? Anyway, I'm surprised that I'm not seeing myself now running more bot lane to assist Twitch and getting that turret, but because once we get that, it kind of allows him to come up and help us over here in these team fights, and it's paying attention that this carry in particular likes to behave repeatedly go bot lane. So if I can clear the turret with him, maybe he could have joined us sooner, because I feel like we should. Yeah, there comes the 1v1. Who's gonna win? Oh yes, Twitch. Both flashes as well. That's great. That's really great. And yeah, hopefully we can maybe get the turret now. See that I'm gonna go put in some aggressive wards, I think. Yeah. So what this is quite good. You see here, we know that 3 of them are dead, and I know that one of them's mid lane. So using sweepers, it's clear all the way in their jungle. I want to get some super deep wards down. And notice like the placement of them, if you look at the minimap now, shows a lot of the gap by the wall and the front of their lane. So we get plenty time to see them running. We know exactly which direction they're going, yada yada yada, which is going to be really useful if we want to keep on propelling more pressure bot lane. So yeah, more on that wards situation later. It's kind of like I haven't really talked about placement of wards much in the video, have I? When you're going for like a dragon or something, it's more than acceptable just to have a ward in the enemy's bush just behind the river if you're like on this side. Like kind of opposite where the red buff is, right? Where Vayne's running. And then if you're on that side, it's better to ward like both of our blue and our mid like little tunnels into the river as well, right? And the same reflects on the Baron side. But if you're playing like not for an objective, or if you're playing a massive team fight, if it's suddenly in a jungle and you have no wards in the bushes, just ward every bush if you can. And if you don't have that ability, and perhaps you're thinking, okay, we want to push a particular turret down or an objective of the map, such as bot lane or mid lane, try and get that wards kind of formation on the go, and use your team's positioning to like influence the enemies to run through them. So what I'd like to see now on this clip is like maybe a shift of play from our team towards the bot side, or there'll just be a direct engage shortly, I don't really know. And that would be like using those wards more, but we'll see. You kind of get the point though. What I'm trying to say is just try and have the most effective areas warded for when you're going to fight. And if you don't have the ability of warding everything or a few things, just keep a ward for an objective. Really important. Okay. Yeah. So now it's quite cool because we're going to see Twitch farm that bot lane and come in groups. So we can start to talk about team fights, which generally start to happen around about 20 minutes in game. Now a lot of games can be capped off really quickly at this point, and a lot of them can be really like lengthened out. It all depends on how quickly your team groups in comparison to theirs, and like how well everyone does. If anyone being caught out, do they have summoner spells on cooldown because of that? Or, you know, it's all about what spells come together at what times. Good wards, catching people, etc. Question: why am I supporting him? Why am I running topside? What am I doing? But they've got 4 people dead, so I guess I think there's no necessity for me to... What am I doing? I'm just going to sit here and kind of like laugh for a few seconds. I'm questioning why am I not with my team? Do brain AFK. Maybe that's what... Ooh, and a flash comes in. Ah, this is where my little brother took over. No, really, the pizza delivery guy came. No, I'm kidding. That was awful. Guys, don't do what you just saw. Stay with your team. and be effective. I want to question why I was there. I can't even remember. Brain AFK, right? Oh well. The death timer sings down. So coming into different items, I haven't really explained the full build yet. So I should really finish talking about the item build as well. Locket of the Ancillary, super good choice, along with Redemption once you've got it. Like I said, if you think your game's going to be short, or you can always go the Boots of Lucidity. Otherwise, like lengthen it out and keep going for Fairy Charms, get Ardent Censer. If it's beneficial, get Mickle's Crucible. You can always switch the Sight Stone and the item together to like get another free slot as well. And that's also a 10% cooldown reduction. So try not to overdo it, but be mindful of getting that cap. So mana regen and then defensive stats, right? I would need some more fights to start. I would fast forward, but I really am enjoying sending rivers of my thoughts into my microphone for you guys to listen to. You're probably all going to think I'm really weird now. That's okay. It's nice to see that I'm trying to use my abilities from afar, but it's not going to go down well. And for sure, engaging on the dragon whilst Twitch is bot. Maybe I should be there with him, but he dies and we'll take Drake. It's kind of all that ultimatum, like who should you stay with mid-game, and I think it's a very open-ended thing, and I think a lot of the time you just end up where you end up, but there should always be a point to it. Like, generally, I feel like if I identify or feel like my best player is way better than my carry on the team, then I will try and support them more deliberately. And it sounds stupid, but if you save them over your carry, they could likely do more. But that's not saying that I would just downright neglect the carry either. You do everything you can, right? God, we guys, we try and help. Even if you're not a support, we try and help everyone. That's the problem with us. We're all too nice. Yeah, again, I'm pushing solo. Sometimes that's okay, like if you're quick at doing it. I guess what's stressing me out here is the Zwat portal, and sometimes it's nice to like slowly stop a lane pushing you, but not as Nami. And it's probably just a habit that I'm displaying because she's not. This game's quite probably early on from like when I started playing her. She's not one of my mains yet. I'm probably going to get a lot of advice as well at this video, which is going to be super cool. Tell me what you guys think could be done better, or if you've learned anything. That would be another cool piece of feedback as well. And yeah, otherwise I'll keep explaining things as we. Like, I just feel like sometimes it's repeating yourself, but it's really simple to support in a sense that keep the wards on the objectives. We know Dragon's not an interest now, Baron's an interest there. Why are we positioning? No, that's okay. I'm playing safe. Yeah, I'm using my ult now to really play, and then yeah, follow up on the Q with Lux. Managed to get out of Vayne's way. This looks like a big fight. Katarina making it. It's a big catch on the ADC. And a lot of the pressure that we ramped up mid lane, or should I say we, the enemy, I was away, right? It's going to show as well. Big push coming in bot lane, so we'll just keep pushing top, see what we can do. Like your spell rotation as well in fights. I feel like I put E down first a lot. Unless it's required, like W, I'll heal up with it. And then Q, like use it after your ults. Use it if the enemy's slowed when they've got like another form of CC on them from another player, or slowed from your E. And then be wary of your items like Redemption or Locket. And some good key bindings can go a long way as well. Like if you guys are pressing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and even like 7, notice how my trinket is key binding to T, and like my mouse button is my 5th and 6th item, so like I can use forward or back on my mouse independently to activate Locket or mobility item, the coin, Talisman of Ascension, etc. But mostly like I like to use 4 and 1, you know, that's kind of my thing. Played a lot of MMOs, a lot of tapping them keys. And I think as well, it's kind of important to say, once you have got your items, I feel like that is when, if you are going to go on these solo missions and push the lane, if I display that behavior again, it's really poor. Stick with your team as much as you can, because you see all the opportunities we're going to get. Too bad on the Redemption. It takes a bit of time to spawn, so you'll be... Ooh, in Vayne. This could be a great yeah, this is really good. E on Yasuo, because Twitch isn't in range. Ultimate, that's good. Q on the follow-up with Jax. That's grand. This is a finish, right? This is great. I think I just finished the game. Officially. Alright guys, I think... Yeah, okay. You know what? I'm going to shut up. Cheers. And if you think that I talk too much, well, that's good. That's what I was going for. And if you have any tips, minus the one where I'm like, don't go totally solo, stay with your team. That's probably the biggest thing I'd say in this game. Although I think my justification was this rot was stressing me out, but I'm not entirely certain. I don't really know why, but don't do it. Stay behind the minions. Try and last hit when they go to last hit, as you've seen. Keep things warded. Peel. Be brilliant and just relax when you're in game. That's always important. This issue is making me spin. A nice ult. Now I'm gonna run, right? Now I'm gonna run for my life. I'm gonna die again. It's not GG. It's not even over. Well, I guess this is it. Another round with Ave. Yeah, Rylas. It's a nice item. It's pretty good for helping Peel. Probably wanting it for like Jax. What am I thinking? I'm in the store thinking, why haven't I got Locket this game yet? Okay, better item would have been Locket before Rylas. And look, I'm thinking about the Zeeks. But I'm probably also thinking, oh, we're going to win. Buy what you want, boy. So yeah, and in the future, if you want me to like sit down and talk about a game and sit down and talk to you, just let me know. And I'll sit and hit that record button for you. Oh, wow. That fight was incredible. You see the Gnaw and the Thresh and the Flay and the... Wow. Yeah, that nearly... It did kill Katarina, but... we can just end. That'd be great. So yeah, guys. Thanks. And if you want me to do it again on another thing, let me know. I hope you learned stuff. And I was a noob. And that's how noobs win games. Because they land the occasional skill shot. Good fight. Good night.